What do you think, huh? Hello, and welcome to another video. So you join me and Georgie in the garden. We have some work ahead of us because there are a few things that are looking a little tired and a few big changes that we're going to be making. I'm going to keep Georgie in my sights for this video just to make sure that she's not getting up to any trouble. So first things first, this is one of those major changes. So this is a phlox and it's stunningly beautiful. We have two of them here. They were actually the first plant that we ever planted in this garden. So there's a touch of nostalgia here, and it is going to be kind of sad to do what we're about to do, but we are going to be digging them up. They have performed so beautifully for the past few years, and for about 2 to 3 weeks, even a month sometimes, they are just this crazy globe of glowing purple color, and I love them. The color is stunning. I love the shape of the leaves, the actual structure of the entire plant. Unfortunately, they suffer terribly badly from rust, from powdery mildew especially, and so it's just not worth it to us to keep them here front and center in our borders, because for most of the year, they're either looking horrible like they are now, or they're cut back, which is what I'm about to do, and then they don't really grow back for quite a while. And this is like prime real estate. This is a really important part of our garden, kind of visually. Where'd she go? Come here, baby. You're so curious. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig up these two phlox here, and I'm going to plant them on our hillside. I thought this would be really, really nice. That way we can kind of let them die back poorly, and there's a lot going on up there, so I don't think we'll notice as much. And what I'd love to do is add some beautiful autumn joy sedum to this area. So I think autumn joys are kind of almost year-round interest, would we say? They come up in the spring just looking like these beautiful little mounds of glaucous foliage. They almost look like, I don't know, coral or something like that. They're beautiful. Their foliage is stunningly gorgeous. And then they start to come out. They add this nice kind of interest in the border, like a backdrop sort of throughout the spring and early summer. And then when they start to flower, they are so exquisite, starting off a light pink. I mean, even when they're in bud form, they look gorgeous, this lime, sort of chartreusey green color. And then when they turn pink, they are just glorious. And then they deepen and sort of rich burgundy color. And then in the wintertime, if you don't deadhead, they look beautiful with a little bit of snow on top. They're just really gorgeous, and I love them, and they do really well here. We haven't had zero problems with pests, no problems that we can tell with any diseases. And then if we plant them here, it'll continue that repetition of the autumn joy sedum that we have throughout this long border. So what do you think? Should we take these out? Say bye. Bye, phlox. See you later. Okay. Why don't you lie down right there? That's a perfect spot. Let's get rid of these stakes. And we'll make sure to clean these before we use them on any other plants. So here I have some soapy water, a little rag, and just some shears. I use these kitchen shears in the garden. They're specifically designated for gardening now, though. They don't get used in the kitchen anymore. So we're gonna take these back all the way to the ground, cut them back, and then we're gonna dig them up and move them. I'm gonna leave them tall enough so that we can see where they are, because they've grown quite a bit, and I don't wanna cut them back so far that I'm losing some of them. Like there's one over here. I don't know if you can see that, but all the way over here. Like a foot away from the plant. Oh, so sad. Okay, that's it. All gone. So now I'm gonna dig this up. We might even divide it and find a new place to put it on the hill. Oh man, I wish that all of our digging could be this easy. The only reason that this is as easy as it is because we already have a hole here. But look at that. Oh, like butter. Let's get you out of here. So I'm just gonna divide it in the hole. We're gonna be quite harsh here. Jeez. Felt like I just cut it right through the heart. Okay, so now that we have dug up the other one, I am going to go ahead and cut this one back. You know, this one doesn't look as bad as the other one did. This one looks a little bit healthier, and I've found that for all the phlox on this side, it doesn't seem to be as badly afflicted with the powdery mildew as all the phlox on this side, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, like 6 phlox all through here. These two are much worse than the ones on this side. But it's starting to look really bad, especially in the center. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, not great. So let's get rid of this one. Okay, so this is where we're going to be putting the phlox. We divided them, so now we have 4 plants. And I think I'd like to spread them throughout this little section of our hillside meadow. So let me talk you through the process. We're gonna be cutting back some of these lupins. We have beautiful lupins. They're just wild lupins all throughout this border, specifically this part of the border here on the hillside. And they're purple and deep, rich blue. We have a few bicolor white and lilac. We have a few bicolor that are like a creamy pink and an ivory. They are just stunning and spectacular. I love the foliage, they're beautiful. However, as you can see here, hopefully, these are not looking great. I love the way that the seed pods look, especially at a distance. They take on almost sort of a purpley hue. They're like with their fuzzy white fur on them. But it's great to collect the seeds and then plant them throughout. It usually takes, I've found, 2 to 3 seasons for that same seed to actually bloom. That's what's happened here for us. But this year we got one of the blooms in one of the borders, and we planted that the first year that we were here, so it took quite a while, but it was gorgeous. So we're just gonna be taking these and maybe scattering them throughout, but I'm probably gonna pocket a few of these. Put that in my little handy pocket. That's why it's nice to wear an apron out in the garden. So we're gonna collect some of these, but then we're gonna cut everything back basically, because the plants themselves have died back. Hi, Robin. The plants themselves have died back really, really poorly, and they look all like shriveled and brown. Anyway, that reminded me of like a witch's thing. This structure here reminds me of a witch's hat. Like this, we have a tripod here that has beans and morning glory climbing up it, but the top of it is sort of doing this really interesting thing, and it looks like kind of like an interesting witch's hat. Anyway, also look at our Queen Anne's lace. How stunning. I just love this. And these are the ones that we scattered the seeds for last year. So it's doing exactly what I want. And every single day I come out here, I just take so many photographs of it because I think it's just so, so whimsical and stunning. I love it. Okay, so that's the rundown of what we're gonna do. I'm procrastinating, to be honest. I really don't wanna get started. Decisions are hard. But I'm gonna make decisions about where we're gonna be planting these, and then we're gonna do it. Let's go. Okay, so we planted up all of those phlox. We cut back the lupins. Everything is looking great. I'm not going to show you that quite yet, but I just wanted to talk you through all of the rest of the things that we're going to be doing, and then I'll give you a tour of everything that we've done at the end. But first things first, we have to dispose of our phlox. So because this has that disease, we want to make sure that we just dispose of this. So you can throw them away. Don't put them in with your green waste. Don't put them into your compost heap. Don't put them into your leaf mold. You want to either put them in the trash, or if if you are able to have a bonfire or something like that, you could throw them on a bonfire. But that's the only way that I would do it. And I would double check about the bonfire thing. I think that's good. With most pests or with most diseases, you can just throw it on the bonfire, but double check on that. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and bin these. Next up, we are going to be planting tons of annuals, and Bert is going to help me with this because we are planting a bunch of annuals that we got recently from our local garden centers. They had a deal going where it was, I think it was buy two, get one free, something like that. So we ended up getting a bunch of annuals, which is the joy of midsummer, is you can get a bunch of plants a lot of the times for huge discounts. So we got a lot of plants for not that much money. And that makes me a happy girl. While we were there, we picked up some vegetables that are gonna handle some of the cold later in the season. I mean, I'm like later in the season, I'm like, I might be coming sooner than we think. Oh, we have such a short growing season. But so we're gonna be planting up, I think we have broccoli and some cabbage, but our lettuce is bolted, sadly. So we're gonna pull up the lettuce, we're gonna put it in the compost, and then we are going to plant those up. And then, is there anything else? I was thinking I might do some other little bits and pieces here and there, but I'll share that with you as and when it comes up. So we're gonna get rid of these, and then we're gonna get going. It's late, I'm tired, my brain has stopped working. Anyway, let's go. Oh, I almost forgot. Okay, we have to plant the sedum. So let's plant the sedum. No, let's dispose of these, wash our hands. I gotta take these gloves off, wash these gloves, plant the sedum, plant the annuals. Okay, we got this. but I wanted to quickly just come out and show you everything that we did. So this is the border where we planted up those annuals, this beautiful coleus, and it's looking spectacular. I mean, this coleus, the second we put it in the ground, was just like, it's so happy here. The little apple blossom impatiens look fantastic. They're still a little bit on the smaller side, but you know, they are bulking out, so that's fantastic. And it's just really nice to have this feel more intentional over here. Okay, so here's where we planted the 2 sedums. So this is where the phlox was, and now we have these 2 beautiful autumn joy sedums here. And I love the way that these look before they even start to bloom. So that soft green color on top of the sea green leaves, I just think that is really beautiful. You might be able to hear all the acorns starting to fall. But yeah, these look really beautiful here. I'm so glad that we did this, and the repetition through the border I think is really nice. We also planted some of this angelonia here. Is this angelonia? Yeah. I can't remember what this one is. Steel blue maybe? Angelonia? But yeah, that's a really nice one. It's a bicolor, sort of a purpley blue, like a lot of these that are in our blue walk. And then the bottom half is white. So that's a really pretty one. And then just one dusty miller here to kind of mirror this one that we have here. That one there. So yeah, it's looking really good. I'm so happy with that. And then let me show you the hillside really quick. And then we have our phlox planted up here on the hillside. We kind of planted it in a little bit of a zigzag. So I'm really hoping those look beautiful starting around June of next year. And you know, if they're back in the back of the borders, we might try that tip that one of you mentioned about kind of coming through and cutting them so that there's a little bit more airflow coming through them. But I think that'll look beautiful, and because they're in the back of the border, the powdery mildew won't bother us as much as being like front and center in the borders. All right, let me keep showing you some stuff. I'm not sure if we filmed this, but we did add a few impatiens here just to sort of fill out this area, and they're blooming their heads off, which is wonderful. Okay, so we also planted up this bed with all of this broccoli, and I think it's looking really good. We've had lots of rain, so we haven't had to come out here and water except just a few times. And I'm just really excited. I'm hoping that we're able to get some really nice broccoli from this bed here because we just love broccoli. Love it. I think that just looks so nice. Even if we don't get any food off of this, I think it looks like such a beautiful bed. Okay, so this bed is not looking as good. These cabbages haven't really been putting on any growth, and it's just because this is one of our shadier beds. But again, that's okay. That's sort of the risk that you take when you're planting things late in the season, and I think these were like 50 cents or something. They were very affordable for, you know, because they were late in the season. So yeah, that's that. I think that's the end of what we did. We spent a day just sort of going through, you know, transplanting things, taking stock of what needed to be done, and then just slowly doing those things. And we can still plant things in the middle of the season, which is nice, but pulling out things in the vegetable patch that have gone to seed, anything like that. Deadheading roses is something that's really helpful. After that work that I had shown you, some of the roses started to bloom, and so then we've had to come in and deadhead some of them. And that process is just a great thing to do, a great chore to do in terms of midsummer maintenance as well. So thank you so much for joining me. Like if you like this video, please subscribe. It really does help us out, and I'll see you again very soon. All right, bye. I'm gonna harvest. That's why I'm carrying this, because I knew we were coming to the vegetable patch, so I'm gonna be harvesting some veggies for dinner. Okay, bye. Look how perfect that looks. Oh my God, you guys, that is just so delicious. Sun gold tomatoes. Yum. Do you want one?
Yeah.
Okay.